Joining me now is Matt Harmon, the founder and CEO of Balsam Brands. You know, I'm a real Christmas tree person, Matt.
We love that.
As I get older, I do see the value of the artificial ones. So you are facing potentially massive increases. Do you plan for that now, or do you just wait and hope?
Well, we've been planning for this for 6 years. We've been working to get our supply chain diversified outside of China. We brought as much inventory in before Inauguration Day as we could, just in case. But I don't think anyone saw 145% tariffs, as Secretary Bessent said, effectively a trade embargo. And so we are doing everything we can to shift some supply, to get some things here this year, to leverage things we have left over from last year. But we're just not going to have things to sell in the industry unless we can open things up, start producing again, and release finished goods that are held in China.
So what would be your bill based on like the status quo as of today if business was like last year?
We would have over $100 million in tariffs that we would have due. Last year we paid $1 million.
You'd pay $100 million.
Over 100.
That seems like a big increase.
It's a very big increase. That's if we brought everything we ordered this year in at today's rates. Now we have paused orders, we've canceled orders. We can't, there's no way we can do that.
Is it such a high bill that if, and look, I think we're all assuming maybe at some point it gets ratcheted down to some extent. There's headlines today that seem favorable. I don't know. If it literally stayed that high, I mean, could you make them in America, or is there?
We did a project in the first Trump administration to figure out, is there any way we can manufacture pre-lit Christmas trees in America? They've actually never been made here. So artificial trees many decades ago were, but when the lights came pre-lit on the tree, attached on the tree, it's very tedious. You kind of put it out here, you clip it, you bring it back. I mean, I could use this whole news segment and I'd only have like one little tiny part of a tree done.
Right. I understand based on trying to light a real tree, you know.
And that's why people have, I mean, 4 out of 5 American households have artificial trees because they're pre-lit.
Tedious, yeah.
So we looked at doing it. The only way you can do that is if you can automate it somehow. We hired IDEO, who's like the Goldman Sachs of design. They invented the computer mouse. We could not figure it out. And so the best we could do, the price was about $3,000
for a tree?
to a consumer for a tree we might sell for $500 today.
Okay, so what do you do now? I mean, are there other countries to source from, or is it literally just wait? No, are there lobbyists working on this?
I spent the week in D.C. It was my 3rd week so far since Liberation Day in D.C., telling our story to the White House and to other departments. We're working the Hill as well, because people don't understand that Christmas is being produced now. Like, if we don't restart production in the next few weeks, it's not a matter of it being crazy expensive. There's just not going to be things that are out there. And when I meet people like, oh, I have a Balsam Hill tree, I'm like, well, you might be able to make 50% profit on it if you sell it on eBay this Christmas, because there's just not going to be new items.
You're clearly a resourceful, successful entrepreneur. At what point, if anything like this status quo stays the way that it is, do you just pivot the business entirely or pursue even more radical options?
Well, right now we're just focused on how can we get as much inventory as we can from other places to support this Christmas. We're focused on investing, ironically, in our non-U.S. businesses. We sell across Europe, Canada, Australia, so we're pouring more resources into those businesses to help us through this uncertainty. We're hopeful that the administration figures something out, and what we're also asking for is a 90-day pause on the Chinese tariffs. We think that that would really help us not only save Christmas, but 2 other great things that it would do. The first is everybody knows how big a deal this is now. When it got announced, like, some of us understood it immediately, but now everyone around the world knows what it means. And so I think it's still a really strong message to say, hey, this is what it means. We've had this in place for 30 days, but now we're going to take a little pause. We're going to try and negotiate it out. But that threat of it coming back is so strong. The second thing is, all of us that have ordered inventory from China, we have all this cash, hundreds of millions of dollars of cash stuck in China, because we have to put a 30 to 50% deposit down to order any goods. So all these American companies that have goods that are being held in China, half finished or finished, can repatriate that cash we have invested in that inventory and bring it back to the U.S. now. And I think that's a win for everybody involved. So we hope that that 90-day pause happens.